What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have an amazing episode for everyone today as we had a really wild day in the market. The SPY was all over the place, and it actually broke all-time highs. And then on top of that, GameStop stock is getting absolutely crushed. So we're definitely going to cover what's going on with GameStop and then also hype stocks. Overall, we have an amazing video for everyone today. And at the end of today's video, we have an awesome option to watch out for that some whale put $2.5 million into. So make sure to stick around for that. But Tom, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, and the first thing I want to really cover is GameStop today. It just got destroyed, down 27%. And you know, their earnings weren't terrible. They had a negative 0.45 actual EPS versus a negative 0.67 estimate. So they actually beat that a little bit. And they actually did, they reported that their sales rose 25%, but they came out and said that they might actually do another share offering where they're going to sell 5 million more shares. And I think that that's the main reason why GameStop is down today. And I'm not sure if it's GameStop going down or just meme stocks in general, but across the board, GameStop, AMC, the only one that's holding up is like Wish, CLOV's down, Wendy's is down again, so we're just seeing a lot of these stocks still going down. And whenever we look across the board, Wish is kind of holding its ground. That's the only one I'm seeing that's really holding those levels. But GameStop is just getting totally destroyed today. Those earnings weren't terrible, but I think that just people are getting worried about that share offering, of course. And then also, people have just been waiting so long for this pop, and it just failed to break out above $350. So I'm getting pretty worried about some of these stocks. And looking at GameStop going forward today definitely did not look good. Seems like there's a pretty big support down here around $150. We might hit 200 before that, but yeah, it's been a very crazy day. And overall, all these meme stocks and everything that's had a ton of hype and has been popping lately is just kind of gone down.
All right, so guys, let us know what you think's going to happen with AMC, GameStop, Wish, you name it. I want to hear what you guys think about these stocks in the comments down below. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. One thing I think of when I look at GameStop and AMC is I've noticed that over the past couple of days, when we think like 2 weeks ago, everyone was solely talking about AMC. Everyone was talking about AMC, but now we're starting to see people talk about Wish in AMC and then GameStop and then Wendy's. So the buying power is spread out. And when that happens with hype stocks or even short squeeze setups, it really just kind of it just makes all of the stocks lose power. You know what I mean? It's better to have one specific stock that everyone goes into for these types of short squeeze setups instead of 5 or 6 different ones. So that's just one thing I keep in mind. But yeah, let us know what you guys think is going on with these stocks in the comments down below. But Tom, can you give us some levels, whether it be support levels, resistance levels, or just some technicals for GameStop?
Yeah, whenever we look at GameStop, I think going down, we're getting pretty close to $200. There was a huge drop today and we fell $82, and we're only $20 away right now from that $200 support. So I'm going to be looking for $200, and then below that, looking for 150. But yeah, GameStop has just been so crazy. And whenever we look at these levels here, you can kind of see how it's starting to go down. It actually broke through some pretty big supports today, like the one at $250. It just flew right past that. It is kind of consolidating right now around 215. So hopefully we can hold somewhere around 200 or 215. But if not, then once we finally do break below 200, I'm going to be targeting 150 possibly to the downside. And it's just not a good week for GameStop and for these types of stocks. And whenever we're looking forward, I would just treat it we say this a lot, but treat it as a momentum play. These stocks are going to be pretty risky. And I think that the best way to trade them is just to get in and out really quickly. Or like Mike said, if everybody's getting into one, kind of like whenever AMC was exploding, then there's some pretty good opportunities possibly for a few days of swings. But as of right now, that wealth is kind of getting transferred all around, and we're just seeing a bunch of stocks end up falling, I think, off of that revelation.
All right. So, Tom, can you give us a brief rundown of what happened in the market today? I know we had a pretty wild ride. The SPY exploded at open, came crashing down in the middle of the day yeah, it just came crashing down and it ended up coming back up. So, can you give us like a brief summary of what's going on in the market overall right now?
Yeah, for sure. And this is pretty bad. CNBC reports that inflation was hotter than expected, but it looks temporary and likely won't affect the Fed's policy. But the inflation rate was estimated at 4.7% and ended up running up to 5%. So it ended up even being worse than they expected. But you can see whenever this finally came out, where I'm at right now, 7:30 Central Time or 8:30 Eastern Time in the morning, you can see that the market initially tanked down and then just rocketed right back up all the way until open, and then right at open the SPY hit all-time highs around 424.63, which was awesome to see, and then it just sold off again all the way down to 421.62 in a very volatile type of day. And now we're just kind of consolidating around that like 423.50 level that we've kind of been failing to break out of. So hopefully the SPY can hold and keep going up. But man, the inflation was pretty bad, and we saw banks across the board go down off of this news, which was a little strange. A lot of people have been kind of predicting that banks were in a good position for inflation and that the inflation news wouldn't really affect them too much. But we see Bank of America down, JP Morgan down, even the big one, Goldman Sachs, still down today. And they really sold off at the end of the day pretty hard. And it was a pretty scary day for banks. And I don't know if it's just banks being overextended. You can see how much growth some of these banks have had this year. Like Goldman has almost doubled over the past year. JP Morgan and Bank of America, the same deal, not doubled, but they've definitely went up quite a bit, and they're looking a little bit overextended. But we're just going to have to see what happens whenever Big Daddy Powell speaks next week at the FOMC press conference on Wednesday. And he'll kind of highlight like what the Fed is going to be doing and if they're going to be adjusting interest rates and stuff like that. But as of right now, it seems like people are pretty much saying, a bunch of the analysts anyways, are saying that the Fed isn't going to change much of their policy at all, and they're going to keep this kind of like easy sentiment for the market going, and they're going to keep their asset purchasing programs, and they're still going to be buying up bonds and stuff like that. So hopefully, this can kind of like make the markets go up. But we'll just have to see what I think Powell says next week is going to really affect the market. And the FOMC meeting, I think, is going to shed light on like what the Fed is thinking about inflation. I think that that's going to be what the main focus is going to be as far as inflation goes. And it was good to see the market go up today. And like we talked about yesterday, this was definitely a possibility for this to happen, and it looks like it honestly helped the market. So good job overall, inflation, I guess.
All right. And then I also heard some crazy news with like the US deficit. Is there anything going on there?
Yeah, CNBC ended up putting out an article today that says the US budget deficit for 2021 so far anyways topped $2 trillion, and the government debt now stands at 28.2 trillion. And it just seems like every year we just keep adding trillions and trillions of more dollars into our debt, especially since COVID happened. And they're saying that taxpayers already this year paid out $319.9 billion in interest. And last year they only paid out 522.8 billion for the whole year. So we're set to pay a lot more interest this year so far than we have last year. And it's just a bad sign. This budget just keeps getting worse and worse. And like whenever we look at the Dow on a daily level, it seems like it hit that 35,000 resistance up here. And hopefully this budget and the inflation doesn't come back to bite the market. And, with the market going up today, I don't think that there's too big of a worry about it right now, but we'll have to see what happens over the next couple months, because sometimes like whenever we just start spending too much, this can cause a lot of problems in the longer run.
Alrighty, well, let's get right into our momentum plays and then the member of the day. Today's member of the day is Deez Stonks. Huge shout out, Deez. Thanks for being a great member of the Discord and a funny username. But overall, thanks for being a great member and sharing great info and asking great questions. But now, Tom, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. And with the first one, we have Enphase to the upside.
Yep, and with Enphase, go ahead and make them break up above 144.50.
All right, and then with the next one, we have Zoom to the upside.
Yeah, Zoom's actually been moving great, and they're getting really close to that $350 resistance, and they look like they want to just fly up through that. So I would honestly look at the $350 level.
All right, and with the last one, we have ARKK, the ARK ETF. I know It's been getting, I don't want to say a lot of hate lately, but it's been struggling a lot in 2021, but it looks like it had a pretty good day.
Yeah, go ahead and make them break up above 115.25. And hopefully the ARKK can keep going up because that's going to show that a lot of these growth stocks are going up as well.
Absolutely. So we are watching these three plays for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they can break above the levels Tom listed. But now let's get right into the $2.5 million options trade for next Friday. We are looking at the ZM or Zoom 350 strike call options that expire next Friday. Like I said, there was $2.5 million put into this. Overall, I really like Zoom as a company. They're one of my favorite stocks for like a long-term hold, and even for the short term, they look pretty good. In my opinion, they are oversold and they have a lot of room to bounce back up. And I think it's good to see that we have some smart money flowing into these contracts. So I'm definitely going to say that I think that they are longing these calls.
Yeah, I would too, because this is a pretty big resistance here. And we've been consolidating on it for a few days, and it looks like Zoom has a lot of momentum heading into tomorrow. So we'll definitely have to see what happens. But if it starts to really break out and push above 350, I think we could go quite a lot higher. So honestly, I think they're longing it too. And if they pass above 350 tomorrow, definitely have it on your radar because Zoom has been one of those stocks that people have just been waiting for it to recover, and they've just been waiting and waiting. So if it does end up breaking out above 350, it'll be a pretty good move.
Sounds like a plan. Let's get right into our questions from the previous episode. And with the first question, we have Piper saying CLNE is the third mentioned stock on Wall Street Bets, and the options pricing is pretty decent. Thanks, Mike and Tom. Really appreciate all your work. Well, thanks for that comment, Piper. Tom, let's check it out. CLNE. It looks like it fell a little bit today, just like a lot of the other hype stocks did, but their like yearly chart looks pretty decent. They have a really big support at $10 and then also $8. And they have a really strong resistance right at 14. Tom, can you give us some like technicals or anything you're watching on this one?
Yeah, there's a huge support level down here around $11 to $10. I think that's going to hold up pretty well. I think we talked about this one yesterday also, and if it can kind of hold these levels, I think it'll be a pretty good stock. And people really like this one because they think that it's going to be a good stock for the longer run, given the sector that it's in and everything like that. So I think that's going to be the big thing looking at with CLNE. But it's unfortunate to see it going down like this. And I would say like if it can hold like $10.50, which was the low of today, I think it'll be a pretty good setup for tomorrow, possibly for a rise back to the upside. I see a resistance somewhere around $13 if we do start to see a move up. So be careful of that tomorrow. But I think it'll be a pretty decent setup. It's kind of sitting on the red 1000 SMA also, and that $11 support. So it seems like it's just at two pretty good technical levels too. So it seems like that it has a lot of potential for tomorrow, but just be careful with it. Of course, it was down quite a lot today. And I would say if it starts to break down below $10, pretty good, then it might just start going to the downside.
All right, and then we have Shelby saying thoughts on NIO. So I'm a pretty big fan of this company for the long term. For the short term, I'm a little bit neutral on them, just because they have popped quite a bit over like the past couple weeks. But at the same time, I still think they are relatively low for their long term potential. So I think selling puts can be a pretty good strategy right now, or averaging into shares.
Yeah, I think so too. NIO is going to be a great company. And what I really like to look at with NIO is you can tell by looking at their chart how much different they are than some of these other stocks. Like if we go look at like CCIV, for example, one that's just not doing quite as well or is not nearly as well off fundamentally as NIO. You can see how their chart looks compared to NIO's, which NIO looks way more like a Tesla chart. So you can almost tell by looking at it that it's a stronger company. And I really like this one for the longer term, especially compared to a lot of the other EV stocks. And for me, the main two EVs are Tesla and NIO, of course.
All right, and then we have Mike saying awesome info. Thoughts on SDC for the short term. So they've been like basically bouncing back and forth between $8 and like 14, you can say, over the past year. They're not bad. I mean, they're not my favorite setup. They are towards the bottom part of their range, which can be a pretty decent dip buy. I definitely don't think it's a bad setup. It's not my favorite. I really like Zoom right now. Actually, DraftKings is pretty good too, and even Enphase. But this one definitely isn't bad. There's definitely it's more of like a high risk, high reward setup because you might get in just under $10, and the top part of that range is all the way up at 14.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. And I just think that there's a lot of other opportunities as well. Like you said, like with DraftKings and Zoom, I think that those are going to pose as like a lot better of stocks in the shorter term. But SDC is not the worst. I don't I've heard of them for sure. Smile Direct Club. I've seen a lot of their commercials and stuff like that, but I just don't like the chart setup. It's not the best, but like you said, it is in that range. So it's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's just I'm going to be more neutral on it, and I just think that there's better opportunities out there.
All right, so Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or anything you're watching for tomorrow? I know that we have the market kind of going crazy right now. We are at all time highs, and these you could say these hype stocks are starting to sell off a little bit.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have my eye on those hype stocks. I'm also going to have my eye on the banks tomorrow. It seems like they had a pretty bad day today. I'm going to try to see if they can recover up or if they're going to continue to the downside, but it's definitely not looking good for a lot of the banks. And then some other things I'm going to be watching are like AMD and some of those semiconductor stocks. They look like they're really trying to rip up. AMD has been consolidating up here right around this like 82 to like 82.50-ish level for the past few days. And I think it looked like it had a great day today. It even closed pretty strong and looks like it might start going up tomorrow. And hopefully it can go up because AMD is one of those really big like semiconductor stocks slash like computer stocks for the future. I think it'll be a pretty good run up if we can finally break out. And we've also been consolidating on the 100 SMA as well. And there's just a lot of people looking at AMD right now. So I would definitely look for it if it can break out like above 82.50. I think it could be a pretty good play. And honestly, like selling puts on AMD and stuff like that could be a pretty good opportunity right now with some of these semiconductor stocks getting hurt the past couple of days.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. And if you want to trade with Tom and I every single day, plus get access to our day trading, swing trading, and unusual options activity bots, you can click the first link in the description down below and you'll save about $40 off. Yeah, you'll save $40 using that first link in the description down below. And also, don't forget to come join Tom and I live every single day at Market Open on the new Stocked Up live channel. The link for that is also in the description down below. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.